We're continuing our conversation on dissociation, so trigger warning. This person asked, how do we flip our flop? I touched on this a little in my response to the teacher who has a student who does this, but here's a couple things. First, again, this is not therapy. I'm not your therapist, and healing from something like this takes therapy. So find someone safe and get started or keep going. But here's the gist. We dissociate when we have enough threat and enough danger going on and have no escape that we retreat inside of ourselves. And sometimes that looks like going outside of ourselves. So maybe you feel like you're hovering above and watching yourself or watching it like a movie. You feel really disconnected, or sometimes you feel hidden deep inside. Either way, it's like the mental retreat. This is why people who do this lose time and don't have memory, because we're not really functioning in a normal way. So the opposite of being checked out is being checked in. The opposite of not being present is being present. So this is where we get the concept of grounding exercises. I know they sound simple and they're over-talked so people don't do them, but they're really, really powerful, and they were designed for this reason. Tell me 3 things you can see, and 2 things you can hear, and something you can touch, and something you can smell, and then taste something. Use your senses to pull your brain back to the present moment so you come out of a disassociative state. Grounding is probably the most effective, but breathing exercises are too. Think of somebody who just went through something like a tornado and they're sitting there all dazed and confused, like maybe in a movie, and someone grabs their face and is like, hey, 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 and they get their attention. They use language and touch and sound to bring the person back to reality. But once you come back, if there's still a threat or you still perceive a threat and you have a low distress tolerance, you're going to want to check right back out again. So this is why I say things like therapy, because you got to build your distress tolerance. You got to learn to be able to cope with some of those emotions, and you have to retrain your brain to understand when there's an actual threat and when something just reminds you of a threat and you're being triggered. But I'd say the most important thing of all of this is to be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Take it slow and steady. You didn't get like this overnight, and it's not going to change overnight, but healing is possible and it's worth it, and you deserve it. So keep going.